This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're at DataLink Systems. I'm here with the representative, Garth. Let me ask you, Garth, for over 10 years, you guys have been providing automation out there for companies. Basically, what got you involved with this company?
Well, I started the company 21 years ago with the idea of developing software, custom software for manufacturing companies. So we've done, excuse me, over the years we've done a lot of software development. We've done a lot of implementation projects around the entire Western Hemisphere. And very recently we began to represent a product called MySys Manufacturing Software.
Wonderful. Let me ask you, the automation process, that's obviously an ongoing deal. We're talking about a never-ending cycle. Is this something that is evolving and always changing?
Constantly, yeah. That's one constant in this industry, is that everything changes frequently. And we're seeing a revolution in the area of software technology applied to manufacturing operations. Where we're using the newer technologies now, the newer methodologies and ways of thinking.
Wonderful. Let me ask you, for the viewers out there, what type of companies benefit from your service?
Any manufacturing company. I've worked in manufacturing companies that do everything from autopsy saws to artificial hemoglobin to farm implements to transmissions to, you name it, all kinds of manufacturing companies. And you can usually find a lot of similarities from one operation to the other. Our focus is on small to mid-sized manufacturing companies.
Excellent. You've done quite a few known names out there. You're talking about Frito-Lay, Caterpillar, Mitsubishi. Let me ask you, are these normally turnkey situations and projects that you work with?
No, not at all. They're large implementation projects generally. We're focused now on smaller implementations, but generally the projects take months to implementing new manufacturing software in a company really is a cultural shift in terms of how the company addresses their business, the procedures and policies that they implement in the business. So it's a cultural shift as much as software implementation, and that's one big aspect. We've got a lot of experience, many years of experience in doing projects of that sort.
See, we're talking about integrating what they already have, modifying it possibly, and making it better.
Well, both. Actually, we sell a turnkey system. When I say turnkey, it means it's already developed. But then we go through the implementation project, and very often, however, there are unique requirements for a particular company that aren't addressed by the software that they have. So when those situations arise, we'll find ways to develop add-on applications, functional enhancement applications that address their specific needs.
Let's start at the beginning here. Let's talk about machine control. How important is that for these companies?
Well, machine control is very important. We don't get involved in that, however. We're more on the operations side in terms of the inventory, production planning, purchasing, receiving, engineering product structures, and the accounting functions, account receivable, accounts payable, etc.
Would that be considered more of the process visualization part of it as well?
Yeah, it's the process. It's the business aspect. We don't get involved in the software that guides the operation of machinery, but rather the software that guides the operation of the business, the people in the business.
Wonderful. So a lot of this data they are able to do, are you guys able to provide it so that they can access it, manage it, that type of thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a key. Very important function with any software. It's got to be, the buzzword for many years is user-friendly, but it's got to be intuitive, it's got to be easy to use, easy to understand, and it makes sense for those people that are actually trying to do their jobs day to day within the constraints of a particular software system.
So you're talking about what's going on behind the scenes, ends up at the end, process control, where it actually meets the end user, the people that are using this.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's what we call in the business these days supply chain, which is everything from the vendors who provide the raw materials to the business for their product, all the way to the customer when they get the finished good delivered to their dock. That's called supply chain. And any system today worth its grain addresses that full spectrum.
Let me ask you, a lot of the companies out there, not sure if they're ready to take that next step or basically feel they could use your service. What would you tell them?
Well, what I would tell them is that given a particular situation, if they are working without the latest technology and with systems, what we see a lot is a lot of kludged together systems, a lot of spreadsheets that are used, and they're kind of cobbled together with some accounting software. But now today we have the opportunity to use systems that are designed from the ground up to integrate the entire business, so that when somebody ships something out the back door, it generates a record in accounts receivable.
So we're not talking about components that stand alone anymore. Everything integrates together.
Yeah, that's essential. And in this day and age, in the competitive environment we have now, that's critical. Crucial. Yeah.
What are some of are there some industry standard software out there that people use right now, but you're able to integrate your systems with as well?
Oh boy, that's a tough question. There are many, many standard systems, anywhere from, well, let's talk in terms of pricing. From the product that I represent is extremely affordable for the functionality it brings. But you can go all the way up to millions of dollars for software and the millions of dollars worth of services that go along with that software, the training and the consulting and the implementation. So that's a tough question to answer. It's like anything else. You have a whole whole host of different options available.
Absolutely. And obviously this affects the bottom line of any company out there, because we are talking about automation and basically integrating all these pieces together. And I imagine businesses are always looking at the bottom line.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, that's today we call things, we refer to something called lean, which is it's a trend in our industry right now, and the ultimate goal is to optimize shareholders' return. So you look at the operation very critically and look at every single detail where you could take cost away or streamline activities and make the operation more productive in order to affect the bottom line, which affects the shareholders.
Wonderful. Folks, if you notice there, their website is at the bottom of the screen right there. Basically, that is DataLink Systems. If you go there, you can get a clear idea of what the company does and what they're there to offer. Basically serving the Midwest areas, but actually all over the world as well. And Garth, let me ask you, if somebody wanted to get involved, what is the first step?
Well, the first step is to contact us in one of the many ways we've made available. Our website. We've done a lot of inbound marketing, so we're on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus. So we're trying to increase our exposure all the time. But I think the best way to start is look at our website, which is www.datalink-systems.com.
Do most of your consultations after that point, do those take place in person or those take place over the phone?
Well, that's a great question. You know, typically they've taken place in person. I mean, I spent 10 years traveling 100% of the time all over the Western Hemisphere, and it's a humongous cost for the client, and both in terms of airfare and parking and rental cars and et cetera, et cetera. But my model, the model that we're trying to develop here is, let's use the technology that's available today. We've all heard of Go to My PC and Go to Meeting and WebEx. So I can essentially be in my office and be in your office at the same time. We've got to have an initial session where we meet face to face and get a sense for one another, which is vital. But after that, let's use the technology and not cause the client to incur huge expenses. Now, we've had some pushback on that idea from the traditional consulting roles, but we're going to try it because we think that's an opportunity that we have today that we didn't have 10 years ago.
Wonderful. And so, yeah, like you say, what's great is you can meet with people with technology now and show them slides and screens and all kinds of things that visually will help them understand and educate them as far as where you're going to go with them. And hopefully we've done the same thing here on the screen. We've given you some visualization here so you understand the company. Once again, that is DataLink Systems, and you can go to their website, which is right at the bottom of the screen. Also, you can contact them there right on the website and the information there as well. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.